right, guys, we're starting Nationalism, Revolution, and Reform. This is Key Concept 5.3. So let's jump right into it. Here's your outline. All right, the 1700s are also known as the Age of Enlightenment, as many thinkers began to question the authority of absolute government and other accepted traditions, and to focus on the rights of the individuals. The Enlightenment was a result of the many changes brought about by the Renaissance, the Scientific Revolution, and the Protestant Reformation, all of which had swept through Western Europe between 1450 and 1750. The most basic feature of the Enlightenment was the reliance on reason above all else. It began in France and quickly spread all over Europe. Thinkers of the Enlightenment insisted on the public use of reason, meaning that past authorities had made assertions without proof and merely expected others to follow. And all thought now was to be subjected to public scrutiny, and there would be no repositories, that word split up, of mysterious wisdom like the church. Eventually, the widespread questioning of nearly all aspects of life that began in this period would lead to revolutions against many governments in European countries and the United States. So, let's talk about the prominent thinkers of the era. John Locke was an English philosopher who pushed the Newtonian worldview into logical conclusions, meaning Isaac Newton. In the two treatises of government, he developed a natural rights theory of government, according to which the laws of government and society were embedded in nature itself. Newton had proven the universe to be mechanical, and Locke insisted that according to nature itself, track is running around the halls. Locke insisted that according to nature itself, human had rights of life, liberty, and property, and these rights were to be respected and protected by their governments. And he wrote that when a government did not respect the natural rights of man, people had a right and even a duty to rebel. And so his ideas became part of the basis for the American Revolution. Voltaire was a prolific French writer and political activist who played an important role in the Enlightenment. He wrote many satirical plays, stories, and poems that were philosophical and political in nature. He was influenced by the ideas of John Locke, and he also promoted the idea of a social contract, which Locke had come up with, in which subjects had the right to replace a bad or unjust ruler. His ideas incorporated those of Locke and went even further. In the Philosophical Dictionary, he attacked religion as fanaticism and superstition. In Candide, he advocated governmental and societal reform, and he suggested that government was the only thing in life that people might be able to control. He criticized the monarchies of Europe for their elaborate institutions, their need for power, and their control of the economy. He believed in the rights of individuals and the importance of ideas, knowledge, and rational thought. He was also a strong advocate for the value of careful observations of the natural world through science. Thomas Paine rejected institutionalized religion, and in the Age of Reason, he argued against Christian doctrines and also advocated the importance of the use of reason and free thinking. He was also a well-known revolutionary. He moved from England to America, where his pamphlet Common Sense made the case for American independence. He later moved to France and supported the French Revolution. Baron de Montesquieu applied the scientific methodology of the 17th century to the idea of natural law. In the spirit of the laws, Montesquieu dissected various forms of government and in particular focused on the parliamentary system of England and its checks and balances. He believed that England's government allowed the greatest amount of freedom for his people, and his theories had a profound impact on the United States, where they influenced the writing of the Declaration of Independence. He also believed in the separation of powers, meaning that no one branch of government had too much power. Now, responses to this. Thomas Paine first raised the issue of American independence in 1775 with Common Sense, but it was not until 1776 that independence was formally declared by the Second Continental Congress, adopting the Declaration of Independence in July. Thomas Jefferson drafted the document, but it was heavily influenced by John Locke's two treatises. The Declaration opened with a statement of principles and concluded with a list of injuries and usurpations of the British monarch. While Locke had said that the rights of life, liberty, and property were inalienable, Jefferson changed property to the pursuit of happiness. And then you had the letter from Jamaica. In South America, a Venezuelan Creole named Simon Bolivar worked to create an independent and unified Latin America. In 1810, Bolivar, a young military officer, joined with a group that later instigated revolts against the Spanish in Venezuela. In 1813, he was given military command in present-day Colombia, but later that year, he and his group seized the Venezuelan capital of Caracas and declared independence. The new republic was overthrown by Spanish troops in 1814, and he went into exile in Jamaica, where he wrote the Letter from Jamaica, in which he advocated his ideas for republican government and the unification of Latin America. He drew upon Locke, Rousseau, and Montesquieu, and he explained his belief that the revolutionary movement in Latin America was a continuation of the French Revolution in 1789 and the American Revolution of 1776. He advocated the idea that human freedom and rights are inalienable and natural, and he further justified the violence in Latin America as being necessary for the revolutionaries to reclaim their natural rights.